Edward Abbey's most successful fiction book, The Monkey Wrench Gang, is a satirical novel that follows a group of environmental radicals fighting to preserve the American Southwest. Delusioned by the destruction caused by the development of Glen Canyon Dam and other industrial areas in the desert Southwest, the protagonists take a violent approach. They engage in sabotage, targeting construction machinery and infrastructure projects they believe to be harming the environment. Targets include roads, bridges, and a dam in the Glen Canyon area of southwest Utah. The novel explores themes of conservation and the tension between humanity and nature. It has been influential in the environmental movement, with the term monkey wrench becoming synonymous with eco-activism. While I do believe that the FBI investigated Abbey as a suspect in committing acts of property destruction for radical environmental purposes and working to catalyze the radical environmental movement that would become Earth First, and let's just jump forward in time to the 1980s to see a bit more about Earth First with a clip from a documentary made about the organization at the time where Abbey did some voiceover. This will help contextualize his role in environmental radicalization.
Earth First people call this monkey wrenching. Throwing a monkey wrench into the gears of the industrial system when it comes busting through the front door of your native original home. If I had a little more nerve, I might join up with them myself, at least at nighttime, and if I could get my mother and daddy to come with me.
And that's Earth First.
Earth First, I think, is a radical environmentalist, eco-terrorist organization. Well, it's not even an organization. I think it's a loosely knit group of zealots who are, personally motivated to go out and defend the earth using pretty illegal, pretty harmful, physically harmful tactics.
Now back to Abbey's FBI file. There are no public records available that show anything related to environmental ecoterrorism. What is available is simply focused on his loyalty to the government. Moreover, he was targeted as a suspect of being a member of the Communist Party. This happened after he returned from his deployment in World War II following the disarmament. He was enrolled in Teachers College in Pennsylvania at the time, and on the anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birthday, he posted a letter on the bulletin board in the Student Center encouraging students to burn their draft cards. His FBI file states the reason as constituting a possible violation of the sedition law or counseling evasion of the Selective Training and Service Act of 1940. The year was 1947. He was 20 years old at the time. And I suspect this incident created friction in the relationships that made up his learning community. Because in January 1948, he dropped out of college and moved west, where FBI investigators continued to keep tabs on him through the use of field agents and informants. His file indicates another notable incident in 1951. He was 24 years old at the time and enrolled in the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque as an English major and philosophy student. He was involved in the campus newspaper, and in his role as the editor, he could publish anything without oversight. In March 1951, he published a quote on the front cover of the paper, which reads, "Man will not be free until the last king is strangled with the entrails of the last priest. Signed, Louisa May Alcott." While there is some modern controversy about who exactly said this and what the English translation is, it fits well in Abbey's growing atheism and his choice to use his platform to advocate for this ideology. Surprisingly, he was not expelled for such an action. However, he was barred from working on the paper any further, and he refused to rescind what he wrote or apologize for his actions. This incident also made it into his FBI file because a professor at the university was working as an informant and keeping tabs on Abbey. Overall, viewers may find it surprising that Abbey's records do not include anything related to eco-terrorism. They are more concerned with him spreading communist ideology or identifying as a communist. The draft card incident was ahead of its time in many respects. History seems to focus on the burning of draft cards as a method for protesting forced conscription to the military as a thing of the 1960s. It was October 1965 when David Miller publicly burned his card, becoming the first person prosecuted under the newly passed law that made it illegal to destroy draft cards. Abbey was ahead of Miller and other advocates of the practice for nearly 20 years, something that is overshadowed by his more notable work in environmental-focused creative writing. Overall, the information in Abbey's FBI record is an indicator of how much more there is to this man than just the writer of Desert Solitaire. He was an anarchist with resolve in his formative years, and would continue to be for the duration of his life.